As we learned in the Fantastic Beasts series, Grindelwald is a master manipulator who constantly is on the lookout for powerfully magical beings and objects that will help him on his path to ruling the wizarding world. Credence was Grindelwald's first attempt in manipulating a powerfully magical being into doing his bidding. But, as we saw in Secrets of Dumbledore, Grindelwald failed to corrupt Credence. So, Grindelwald will need a new protege to groom. In this video, I'll be discussing why I believe Tom Riddle is the next young wizard that Grindelwald will target as a weapon for his cause. First of all, let me go over all the similarities between Tom Riddle and Credence. Both characters were abandoned by their parents as infants or even before their birth. This led them to grow up with a sense of resentment toward their parents, and they also both grew up without love. Tom Riddle was born under the influence of a love potion and was therefore unable to comprehend love. Credence was raised in a hellish orphanage where he was beaten daily and never shown what it means to be loved or to love someone else. The absence of love in Credence's life led to the obscurial forming inside of him. Like Credence, Tom was also raised in an orphanage where he was neglected and never felt what it was like to have someone love you, whether he could have comprehended it or not. Finally, both characters were born into extremely powerful and famous wizarding families without their knowledge. Credence discovered that he was a Dumbledore when he was an adult, and Tom found out that he was descended from Salazar Slytherin while in his school years. Now that I've gone over all the similarities between Tom and Credence, I'm going to get into why I believe Grindelwald would attempt to groom Tom. As I said before, Grindelwald values powerfully magical beings and objects. Much like Grindelwald had a vision of Credence's obscurial and deduced that Credence was a Dumbledore, I believe Grindelwald will have a vision showing him that Tom is descended from Salazar Slytherin. Grindelwald would then either put a mole inside Hogwarts or use Polyjuice Potion to get inside the school and see if Tom is powerful enough to be an asset for him. Once Grindelwald sees that Tom is an absolutely extraordinary wizard, he would use the same tactics of manipulation that he used with Credence. Grindelwald would look at Tom and see how similar he was to Credence and try to play upon the fact that he grew up in an orphanage without ever having parents or love. It would be instantly obvious that unlike Credence, Tom wasn't looking for love. Tom's main focus in his early years at Hogwarts was to find out what his true parentage was. Dumbledore said he was obsessed with it, and he believes Tom discovered the existence of Slytherin's bloodline through old books of wizarding families. However, this is just an assumption of Dumbledore's because he didn't know Tom was Slytherin's heir until years after his graduation. I believe Grindelwald would have seen Tom's obsession with finding out his true parentage and used this as the key to gaining Tom's trust. Grindelwald would tell Tom about the vision he had, showing him that Tom is Slytherin's heir. Much like when Dumbledore told Tom that he was a wizard for the first time, Riddle would say, "Prove it," in his commanding tone. Grindelwald would then show him the vision using his skull hookah, and Tom would once again have that same excitement that he had on the day he found out he was a wizard, saying, "I knew I was different. I knew I was special." Grindelwald would then go on to tell Riddle about his plans for wizard domination and say that he has the same exact goals that Salazar Slytherin had. Tom would have already admired Grindelwald's work from afar, but now that Grindelwald has given Tom the information he so desperately wanted and their views on Muggles are so similar, he would look at Grindelwald as a sort of mentor. Tom would ask what he can do for the cause right now, and Grindelwald would answer by telling him about the Chamber of Secrets, saying that since Tom is the heir, he's the only person who can open the chamber and kill all the mudbloods in Hogwarts. Grindelwald would not know the location of the chamber, but he would teach Tom how to sense where magic leaves traces. This is the same type of magic that Dumbledore used to find the cave entrance and Voldemort's boat in The Half-Blood Prince. Riddle, of course, would eventually find the Chamber of Secrets and use it to kill Moaning Myrtle. Over the next couple years, Grindelwald would teach Tom extremely powerful and dangerous dark magic. However, in the same year that Tom graduates from Hogwarts, Grindelwald is defeated in his duel with Dumbledore. Tom could care less that his mentor has been captured because he's already learned so much from Grindelwald, and he was planning to betray him anyways. From here, Riddle would go on to create his Horcruxes, start the First Wizarding War, and eventually be defeated by Harry Potter. So everyone, that's my theory on why I believe Tom Riddle is the next young wizard that Grindelwald will attempt to groom to his side. In the comment section below, let me know whether you agree with my theory or not, and why. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I hope you have a great day.